Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And what did I say about these matches this morning, right? I wasn't particularly confident it was going to be a great affair, but to be fair, some storylines came out of this just because of how bad some of these teams are right now. But we are also going to talk about also what Slasher had to say a few days ago. The fact that he was like, look, this regular season is garbage, get rid of it, let's go back to tourneys for future seasons. Intrigued to take your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. Everybody up to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, let's go through the first series of the day and some of the things that came out as a result of that. Then we'll talk about the whole what Slasher had to say about the format for the entire season. Then we'll talk about the final series towards the end. First up, Toronto Ultra versus Los Angeles Guerrillas. The problem is with pretty much all of these series for these bottom four teams is that the bottom four have nothing to play for. Pretty much everyone that isn't in the bottom four has at least something to play for. Like FaZe want to preserve their dominant streak. They obviously want great seeing for the major, right? Of course, these bottom tier teams like Guerrillas, like Surge, they want to win to try and get good seeding for the major. But I mean, they're not making the World Championship. They know that team is not lasting the test of time to next season, whatever. Some of the changes they've made this season have been incredibly questionable already. And so, then you're thinking, all right, well, against a team like Toronto, against a team like Rokkr, they have something to fight for, right? Toronto are looking for that second seed for champs. Rokkr are looking for that sixth seed for champs to stay in the winner's side. Guerrilla and Surge pretty much have nothing going on down there. And speaking of Toronto, I thought this was kind of funny. I'm not even sure if they did a double take on this because they partnered with Bud Light or something, and it feels like they just did this in a single take. It was I thought it was kind of funny regardless. But this is how it sits right now, right? So the top four, these are secured winners bracket for the major. These are the teams that have secured top 8, but OpTic will no doubt be there. Minnesota are certainly in the balance right now, and Mutiny is down there technically fighting for the last spot, but all it takes is to look at those records and figure out quite quickly who is actually going to get that 8th spot in the league for the World Championship, of course. Let's talk about this first series then, because look, I was expecting a dominant victory from Ultra, but just the fashion in how dominant it is every single time against Los Angeles Guerrillas is just so embarrassing, right? They made this change. Chino came out, Mental came in. Obviously, Mental hasn't had the greatest time. Not exactly like he's expected to do something phenomenal in this setup, right? You put him into a team that's obviously trash. He's not going to look like a superstar, to be honest. Even if he could be a solid player, it's somewhat tough to say when he's put into a system like this. Game 1, they get 80-point gloves. I mean, just standard stuff. They didn't even get outslayed by that much. This is why I'm kind of looking at the scoreboard and thinking this is kind of interesting, right? Because Assault's 21 and 21. We have been talking the last few days about, okay, our players going to start playing for kills more than... Of course, this is the stats. I didn't even really watch the match. I just kind of had it on the background because, does anyone really want to watch this stuff right now? But still, I mean, when you're getting 80-point clubs and you've still got a 1 KD, some people will look at that and say, okay, maybe you're playing for kills in situations where you could have been playing more for the hardpoint time. And of course, that's just one perspective. This is, what happened in the Search and Destroy. Just an absolute breakdown, to be honest. This is a ridiculous moment, to be honest, here in the Search and Destroy. It's 1 versus 3 for Insight. Here he goes. I'm pretty sure Insight was absolute one-shot, and Mental runs down the stairs. For some reason, gets a bit scared of him. I don't really know why. Insight hops on the bomb. Actually, we'll watch the entire thing right here. Insight in the 1 versus 3, finds the first kill, takes Cellium off the bomb, and then, just about gets the job done right here. 34 HP, and it will run away. I guess we'll just watch this one out real quick. I'll fast forward, I suppose, a little bit real quick. So, Mental gets the bomb down right here, comes through. Mental gets him absolute from the back, I'm pretty sure. And here we go. 5 HP remaining. Mental off he goes, runs straight down the stairs. I guess he just didn't see him, but could have turned around and challenged him right here if he wanted to. Decides not to, and end up losing the round as we just saw. So many moments that completely fell apart, to be honest, for the guys on the Los Angeles Guerrillas, and lots of talk about that after the series concluded, because they go into the control, a game mode that Los Angeles Guerrillas not particularly great at, and Toronto Ultra are dominant at, especially on this map, and a lot of the maps they played in this series have just been pretty damn good for Ultra, so I was never really, it was never in doubt, to be honest, that they were going to walk away with the series. LAG falls short again. I mean, another 3-0, just completely get wiped off the face of the earth, and as you can see this season, 11th sweep for the Ultra, 3rd sweep this season up against Los Angeles Guerrillas, and this was some of the discussion, right? So Chino got dropped a couple of weeks ago, was actually making this team look not awful for a time, and he gets dropped, and their academy team with Chino in is now way better than their starting roster, and Chino's looking at it being like, hey, come on lads, this is just absolutely tragic. I'm sitting here on the bench watching you guys get absolutely mollywopped day in, day out, and here I am, stuck in the pit once again, right in the challenger side, and this is just the overall scoreboard. I mean, we can see it right here, Silly has 28 kills, which may have been, honestly, a record for the lowest kills in a single series, but do not fear, Silly, because your record got broken, if that was the record, by Classic in the final series of the day that we will look at. I mean, Insight just casually a 1.72. I mean, Bants didn't even really have to do anything, and they just got completely blown off the park. So it's just one of those series again. It's like, what do even LAG even do next season, right? Do you keep any of these players? Do you blow it all apart? Do you just put the Academy team in next season and hope that works out to your benefit? It's a lot of questions, right? And as Mork says, also on that Academy team with Chino right now, feel bad for my bros in LAG. All of them are great individually, just can't put it together at the moment, and they look like absolute trash, which is certainly the case. Very frustrating as a viewer, right? Because I want these matches to be competitive, but every single time you know how it's going to go. I'm pretty sure if you bet 100 quid on Toronto Ultra to win that series, you'd have got 101 quid back. The odds were like 1 to 100 that they would win that series. Obviously, it was going to happen. It does happen very convincingly indeed. This is what aBeZy had to say then. So let's go on to this other discussion, right? Because these matches have been particularly dull today, and it's like, all right, do we want a regular season to continue in future seasons? Obviously, there are benefits to it. It has the benefits of at least giving all the teams their certain watch time, right? Their viewership time on the stream and all that type of stuff, which is probably why they won't get rid of it. But in previous seasons, the regular season was really like a secondary thing to the major tournaments that went throughout the season. That was the focus, and not effectively all these regular season matches are just seeding for the majors. But the majors in previous seasons, they were like the thing that everyone was really talking about, whereas this season the regular league matches have taken something of a precedence with more of like a league type structure. And Slash is saying, look, we should just get rid of that, go back to how it was back in the day when tournaments were king, and maybe still have some sort of online, maybe even LAN or whatever league going on in the background, just so you can seed for these big events, but still, it should be that the actual main events are the main thing. eBeZy comes up with some ideas. Maybe we can look at this in more detail tomorrow, exactly how you would construct the championship bracket to make it a little bit better, but I just wanted to share what happened on the flank a few days ago. Maybe it wasn't on the flank, maybe it was just on Zuma's stream. The guy's talking about, right, look, we just need to get rid of this entire season format, regular season formats, go back to this tournament style stuff. That's where Call of Duty came from. Much more entertaining to watch, especially when you look at matches like today.
Different story. I mean, like, Pat preaches this. Like, if there's no, that's why I said I think the best thing would have a crazy tournament within 2 weeks of the game dropping, and then the only things you stream are like major tournaments. Like these league matches, there's no incentive to actually really watch them.
They need to get rid of the regular season. I don't know why we are doing regular seasons.
I know
People don't even
why.
like regular seasons in normal sports.
Yeah, I don't watch else I'm betting on.
Yeah, but
There's people who complain, man.
But how else? Yeah, how else do you give any ROI to teams who got in if you're not doing guaranteed broadcast schedule time? Like imagine.
I mean,
imagine
I understand that.
I'm
but
not
that's
gonna say a
just not
name, but
gonna-
let's say we're on a tournament.
Bro, it should just be events, no regular season. Period.
Wait, Crim, do you like that better?
Actually, I put that too, Austin.
That it's a
Go back to events.
way.
Yeah,
It's the best way.
just go back to events.
It's a 6-month season, but the problem is that the game comes out.
This is the type of stuff that Slash has had to say, I mean, earlier in the season, right? But the regular season matches need to count. They do. If you finish first, you play the worst team in the league round one. So this is the kind of ideas of the buys you could potentially get for some of these tournaments. But still, Slasher obviously had some thoughts to say, right, about the entire season as it's structured right now. What do you guys think about that, right? Because a few years ago, and we'll look at what this that came out actually 5 years or several years ago, way more than 5, 8 years ago today, Gfinity London at 2013, Complexity 1, their second event win in Black Ops 2 within 2 weeks. This is exactly the point, right? In the Black Ops 2 days, there used to be so many events going on all the time. They'd just fly out to all sorts of places, win events. I mean, this is pretty much what they had to do to get their prize money, because at the time, so many events like Gfinity, MLG, UMG, all the other tournament organizers, ESWC, for example, over in France, they were putting on so many different events all the time. And, well, obviously nowadays it's not quite like that, but still, the Advanced Warfare days, another great example. There were so many tournaments going on all season. There was like 14 tourneys in the Advanced Warfare year. It was pretty remarkable. And nowadays, of course, we don't get that at all. We just have what is effectively just the regular season, which is pretty exciting when things matter, right? When there's, okay, seeding for champs and all sorts of who's going to make champs, who's not going to make champs. But you get to the end of the season, and so many of these matches are pretty much irrelevant. And now we're just seeding for the Stage 5 Major and then the World Championships, which is effectively just the playoffs anyway. So I really do feel the pro players right here, thinking like, look, this season, just is way more boring than it had to be if we went to like a tournament first format like Call of Duty has had for years. And I understand why the CDL want to go down the route of, okay, how can we make this more like maybe a traditional sport in a sense? That's how we can monetize it in ways that we know how to do so. But esports is more than that, and Call of Duty is more than that. And I certainly hope that they take more of a tournament-focused approach. Of course, we do at least have tournaments this season. We have like 5 majors and the World Championship, but it's not what we would have liked to see, I'm pretty sure, and not quite what Call of Duty was back in the day. So do you just sack off the regular season? Do you still have some sort of online league matches like you did back in Black Ops 3, which are important important for seeding, but the major thing is you have like, you know, an actual major tournament every 2 or 3 weeks or something. I'm pretty sure that would be phenomenal for every single person to watch. But of course, it does have the implications that, okay, well, if you're Los Angeles Gunners and you're trash, then you're going to get first rounded every single time, and you don't get that exposure to the public that I'm sure they're looking for, right? Paying $25 million for a franchise spot. Many things to consider here, but I can understand why the pros are frustrated, especially at this time in the season when things are going very difficult, of course, for a multitude of teams. Let's talk about the final series of the day. That was Minnesota Rokkr versus Seattle Surge. I had some hopes that this might be somewhat interesting. It wasn't really. Checkmate hardpoint. Minnesota kind of ran away with it. You can even see the graph right here, right? Like, even the graph was a pretty boring one. Like, it never in the game, never in the entire series was Seattle Surge in the lead. Like, they were always behind in the hardpoint, as you can see from this hardpoint tracker. Go into the game too. They, I mean, they lose this one 6-3. Early on, it was all the Rokkr show. Then a couple of rounds came in the favor. I thought it was funny that attach, right? It was a 2 versus 4. Like, it was just pathetic the way Seattle were playing it. They just died one by one, getting caught out. And then it was Prestinni, right? I'm pretty sure clutched an ace in the round, or got an ace in the round, up against Attach in the end. But Attach just had no respect for him. Flew out from the playground, just effectively playing with their food. They end up losing that round. They go on to win the map, and then they go into a Garrison Control. And to be fair, Garrison Control has been a relatively good map for Seattle Surge. I'm pretty sure they won like their last 5 controls in a row. Certainly not this time though. They get 3-0'd. I mean, there was an absolute dagger round, to be honest, the very final one, where it was the Seattle guys in full control of the hardpoint. It looked so good that they were going to take it down. Gunless was like spawn trapping the guys. For some reason, they all go dead. They lose the hardpoint. Nothing goes down. And well, they just can get completely bodied off the face of the earth. And as you can see right here, I talked about Silly didn't have the greatest series. He had like 28 kills in that one up against Toronto Ultra. Classic right here with a truly legendary performance, a .52, 26 in 50, and impressive actually the consistency across the Minnesota Rokkr side. Standy has 46, all other 3 players have 44, and no one on Seattle Surge even got the amount of kills that a single player on the Minnesota Rokkr got. So just one of those days. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Like, you enjoyed this content, other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.